Hello. Hello, Twitter, X, YouTube, everyone. How's it going? Quick shout out to Zboy Chad. Nice to see you here. Look, welcome. It's a Wildcard FPL stream again. I'm FPL Stevie B. In the chat, we have Alf, aka FPL Logan Roy, the famous Logan Roy, smashing up points left, right, and centre. Today we're going to be going through. I'm going to go through Twitter. We're going to deep dive into what's been happening in the last game week. We've got the last game happening right now. I believe it's still 0-0. I think there's a few of us out there that could do with Areola scoring maybe 2 to 3 goals, as well as keeping a clean sheet. But it's good to see Lewis in the chat, and like I said, yeah, big shout out to Zboy Chad as well in the chat. It is going to be an interesting evening. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at how things are going for me. So at the moment, this is live. I'm on 70 points. I'm quite happy with that. Although, like I said, I would really like an Areola hat trick would be amazing right now. I think most people's defense and goalkeepers look like this unless you were brave enough to play Dubravka versus Areola. Not sure about that. But yeah, most people's defense look like this. It's pretty astonishing actually just to get 2 points from 4 players there. But going further forward is where things get a bit happier for me this game week. With Saka, Son, Salah, obviously, Watkins, Solanke and Alvarez. The thing I wanted to call up right away is this guy on the bench, Cole Palmer. 18 points on the bench. That caused me a lot of pain. The fact it was the early kickoff as well really just put a really nasty vibe on the whole thing and did not clear up until Salah scored, because the first half of the Liverpool game I thought this is going to be a disaster. Look, I would love to have played Palmer. The reason I didn't play Palmer, I played Solanke instead. A lot of teams have been going to Luton away and struggling, and I was really, really hopeful that was also going to be the case, and unfortunately it wasn't. It's still a pretty rough swing, an 18-point swing, still pretty rough, but yeah, there you go. If I'd have had him in my team, I'd have been looking at a really good green arrow. But as it is, we got what we needed. And it was a very busy weekend again, or rather game week again in FPL, with just so many goals being scored. So many, how many, 1-3-2, 2-3-2s there, a 3-1, so many, and hardly any clean sheets around, hence the low scores for defenders. You definitely had to have decent attacking options. And if anyone had anyone from Chelsea, Villa, Man City, and especially teams like Nottingham Forest with their differential points would have been really happy this weekend. I think pretty surprised that Arsenal lost to Fulham. That was another thing. I could have benched Saka in favour of Palmer, but no, I went with Palmer on the bench and Saka playing. He did at least score versus Fulham, but yeah, pretty bad one all round. And then let's talk about last night's game. Last night's game was absolutely wild. That first half from Salah, I think fair to say that there's a number of Salah captainers out there who would have been absolutely pulling their hair out with him on a -1, so doubled to -2. Crikey. Would have been really bad. So here we are though, but so far Areola's doing the business on the clean sheet front. I could do with him just creeping up and getting into the box for maybe scoring a header or something. But yeah, all good stuff. So if you are enjoying the stream so far, do remember to like and indeed subscribe. It's great to have you all here, but those likes and subscribes just really helps out Wildcard FPL and helps support the channel. And in fact, it's every time we get a new subscriber, we'll go crazy over at Wildcard FPL Towers. So give it a go. Just have a quick look at my team in more detail. So yeah, like I said, 69 points, and my rank is now 2.5 million. That's not very impressive. I understand that. But I think it's fair to say that we had a bit of a bad start. I had too many Man United players, too many Chelsea players. But over the last probably 4 weeks or so, I've had a couple of 3 green arrows out of the last 4, and now we are sailing up. Just looking at the chat, there's a few people mentioning, Steve Schumann transferred out Salah this week. It was painful following the second half yesterday. I imagine the first half would have felt like an absolute stroke of genius. But yeah, once Salah got going, and to be fair, look, he actually could have had more. I think I saw the stat that they had the highest XG or XGI from any FPL game at all so far. So I think it's around about 7. So actually, it could have been a lot worse, Steve. It could have been a lot worse. So maybe those 16 points or 32 points, if you captain him, maybe you got away with that one. I mentioned that Logan Roy is in the chat. A quick look at his team, because his team's a lot more impressive than mine, and as indeed is his rank. He's at 274 at the moment, but worth noting he does have Estepinian and Areola in play at the moment. So we have Alf has hope. Logan Roy has hope that there could be some clean sheet points on offer. He's asking me what's my take on Areola scoring a header, and also onions. Not sure what the onion chat is about. That's the problem sometimes with live chat. It just goes off on its own tangent. But Areola scoring a header, I'd say, is pretty unlikely, but you never know. And should Moisey need a goal, maybe Areola will be the man. Ben is asking, should I be selling Salah and Son? Well, if we have a look at the next game week coming up, we've got FPL is going to get a little bit tricky over this next couple of weeks. Next deadline is Saturday, 13th of Jan, 11 a.m. Salah and Son will not be around. They are going to AFCON and they are going to Asia Cup, respectively. You can see here I've put down who I think are my preferred replacements, being KDB, Kevin De Bruyne, and Jarrod Bowen. I think those are 2 great assets going over the next few weeks, although I do need to see whether De Bruyne is fit or not. He's got some FA Cup game. He's got an FA Cup game coming up. I think it'd be interesting to see if he plays in that. So, yeah, Salah and Son won't be around. I think I still think there's a number of sleeper teams ahead of me, and that's why I'm quite excited about this week. Actually, I think a number of sleeper teams will not spot that they've actually gone. In fact, I saw a stat yesterday that 21,000 people have transferred in Mo Salah for game week 21, and 22,000 people have transferred in Son for game week 21, which is absolutely mental. They clearly just have not picked up on the fact that those 2 guys are going to miss the next probably 4 or 5 game weeks. Some people are asking whether they should be benching Salah and Son and just holding on to them because they're worried about their price dropping. I would say they're both so expensive and they're going to be out for a while. Judging by the fixtures, I think the prediction is that they're going to come back about game week 24, maybe even game week 25. That's quite a few weeks just having them sat on your bench not scoring any points, especially if you can get in players like De Bruyne and Bowen, and then wildcard your way back into Salah and Son if you need to. Game week 25, 26. That leaves you 12 game weeks to the end of the season to survive without that wildcard, which should be eminently possible. So I think, our recommendation really is probably to get rid of Salah and Son. It's certainly what I'll be doing. I know that Logan Roy, I'm pretty sure he said to me he's already sold Salah, so he went early, and I think he's already got rid of Son, so he's actually ahead of the game. I'll go back to his team. Yeah, he's already got rid of Son, and he got away with it because he got in Foden instead, and a good captain choice, differential captain choice there as well. So Logan Roy proving that he's got what it takes to keep on pushing for that top 100,000. Getting in Foden instead of Son was an amazing move. Well done. And actually, it just means you got one less problem coming up. I absolutely still have 2 problems, and I got a surprise problem as well. I didn't realize Kabore was was on his travels as well. So that was a nice little surprise. I totally forgot about. But luckily, he's one of my I don't really play Kabore that much, but it's still nice to have a defender that might come off the bench and get something. Considering as well, I've also got Lascelles, so I've got some fires to put out. And yeah, Logan Roy is just confirming he's already got in. Right, yeah, he's done. He's in the thing that we tell people not to do, which is don't make an early transfer. And yeah, and we're saying he's already got rid of Son for Foden this week, which is cool. But yeah, he's gone. He's gone for early on Salah to Bowen. I don't mind the transfer. I just the next 2 weeks is going to be a bit of a sweating it out, hoping that Bowen doesn't pick up an injury or something. Logan Roy has Estepinian tonight, says the chat. Yes, he does. He really does. I don't know the score. I'll have a quick check. But yeah, let me just check that right now and have a look, see what's going on. But let's hope that he gets something there. The game finally comes to life, says the BBC. But no, it's still 0-0. And actually, look, a 0-0 for if we go back to his team, 0-0 for Logan Roy is actually a massive win. So I imagine he's going to be hoping that stays like that. Yeah, I know price changes were happening left, right, and centre. But there you go. It happens. Has Areola scored a header yet? No headers from Areola. Interesting times. We go back into. Go and have a little look at Twitter. See what's going on. One of our favourite things to do here is Wildcard FPL is just have a little look at Twitter and see what's happening. If you do not follow FPL Marcin on Twitter /X, please do, because he is absolutely amazing. His memes are almost always spot on. I'm going to go and check out a few bookmarks that I made earlier. Lewis saying Brighton win probably, but I really want West Ham to win with a Alvarez headed goal. Oh, so Lewis has Alvarez in his team as well. It's an amazing team that Lewis has. Actually, Lewis is one of our regulars here at Wildcard FPL, and I think I remember seeing that he's just moved up to 5,700 and something in the world. What an effort! Great job. Yeah, so let's see. So this is an interesting poll. 2,040 votes, so a decent sample size. Which one are you selling to bring back Haaland? Most people, I think, are going to be selling Alvarez. I really don't like selling Watkins to get back in Haaland. I want to be holding on to Watkins and having Haaland too. So that's an interesting poll. I wonder what the chat thinks. Who we bringing in? Who we getting rid of? I personally will be doing definitely as part of that KDB and Jarrod Bowen swap. I'll be doing Alvarez to Haaland too. There'll be plenty of money laying around. I'm sure of it. Salah owners, who are you replacing with? Let's have a dive into this. Jota. I don't know about that. Jota, I feel like he's still a bit of a minutes risk. And when I saw, although when he came on last night, ridiculous penalty aside, he did look very lively. But Gakpo, to me, was the one that really seemed to spark that game into life. I really think Gakpo could be a massive opportunity. Bowen right now, yeah, that seems to be the consensus. Jota, Bowen, KDB, big shout out for KDB there. I think Bowen looks like it will be, a lot of people already have Bowen, but I think Bowen will probably be the template pick going forward. Bowen, Douglas Luiz, and Garnacho, says the chat. Interesting. I don't mind the Garnacho pick. If anyone's going to do something at Man United, it will be Garnacho, because let's face it won't be Bruno or Marcus Rashford. Yeah, it's looking like Bowen. Most people going for Bowen, I think. If I just let's go through and see what else we got. This is the world #1 team. And if you've just joined us here at Wildcard FPL, do remember to like and subscribe. Each one of those likes and subscribes helps us out. This is the world #1's team. This is who they have. Unbelievable. They played Dubravka even in that fixture. They played, but I suppose actually, yeah, their backup goalie is Kelleher. So Dubravka played. Nothing from Alexander Arnold. Nothing from Gabriel Pedro Porro, and everything else they had was up front. Not a single Man City player in their team. This is the #1 in the world. Not a single Man City player. You happy with that team, chat? Got Kelleher, Zinchenko on the bench. I think he's injured. Kabore is going to be off to AFCON, and Morris will play every now and then. Yeah, I'm assuming that they have 2 free transfers and they're going to do something about Salah and Son in game week 21. Same as me. Be interesting to see that. Yeah, Gianni Battiste with no Salah, Elliott, or Zoboszlai. Zobo could play on the right, but Jota is surely favourite. Yeah, I don't know. I think I saw Zoboszlai actually did his hamstring, so he might be out for a couple of weeks anyway. Arguably, he's better centrally or on the left. I think Zoboszlai is much better in the centre. I think we'll see Jota up front. I don't know if you guys watched the game last night, but Darwin Núñez just did what he continues to do, which is have amazing chances and not score goals. He did get an assist, I think, but yeah, really difficult player to own at the moment. I'd be tempted to get rid. So this is like, yeah, another one interesting here. What are you guys planning to do with Salah and Son? Sell both, hold both, sell one. For me, it's got to be sell both. So yeah, my team is Sterling and Jesus. Don't have an option to hold them. Yeah, exactly. I think that's going to be majority of people are going to be selling for sure. Yes, we do. Argentino FPL, we do need a clean sheet from that guy tonight. This was interesting. This is interesting. So Pep saying Erling is back. It's incredible news that Kevin is back and Erling as well. This is very interesting. I'm into this because it means that I think those two are the best combination for Man City. And I think owning both KDB and Erling Haaland, I think is going to be. I think we'll get to the end of the season and everyone will have both those players in their team. I'm going to try and go as early as I can on that, and see if I can sneak a couple of weeks when some people only have one or the other. Bear plays. Bear does not like Wisser. I'm just trying to sell Wisser. Someone help me sell Wisser. I think Wisser is going. Is Wisser going to AFCON as well? He might be going to AFCON, you know. That wouldn't be very cool for Bear plays at all. Yep. Ioane Wisser have been selected by Nigeria and DR. Oh, yeah. Onyeka and Wisser have been selected by Nigeria and DR Congo, respectively. So, Democratic Republic of Congo have called up your man Wisser. If ever there was a time to get rid of him, it's now. You got to do it, Bear plays. You got to do it. Let's do a search then for FPL. See what people are talking about right now. And go into that. Our man FPL Martin is back. And he is saying that there is a third save and a save point for Areola. We are a number of people happy about that one extra point. About that one extra point. Absolutely love it. It could all help me get even further. I think I'd love to be. I think by the end of January, I'd love to be inside under 2 million would be my aim. Bear plays might get Tony. Yeah, Ivan Toney's back from. He's back from the bookies. He's promised he won't do it again. And I think fingers crossed that he delivers. He could be a massive differential. I think everyone's forgotten about him. Also, I think we're hearing as well that Arsenal might be in the market for a striker. I guess Ivan Toney makes perfect sense. Absolutely perfect sense. Bowen owners waiting for a return after that first half, so I guess it was 0-0. 0-0. Are Arsenal going to buy Toney? I think that there's a look. If I was Arteta, having seen what I've seen over the last few game weeks, where it just is, it's really tricky for them to score too many goals. Jesus and Nketiah just aren't up for it. So I think Ivan Toney would transform that team probably into, well, they could have a real title push then. I'd actually probably make them favourites for the title if they actually manage to get a striker. Liverpool without Salah might struggle, could struggle, but I think it's going to be one of those ones where the other players that Liverpool have up front, as an attacking team, Liverpool are really good. Their problems, sort of early part of the season, were keeping clean sheets, but Virgil van Dijk has now started to play well again, and that's sort of coincided with their good form. Trent has done well. They do need a left back. And I saw that they had recalled a guy who's been on loan up at Dundee. They'd recalled him, so I think that they might start keeping. They do need to start keeping some clean sheets. Like last night, 4-2. They're just getting away. They're getting away with it a little bit because their attack is so good, but they are very leaky. They are very leaky indeed. So lots of people are happy about the Areola situation. FPL Harry wants it out of the way so he can go and watch the darts. I understand FPL Harry. It is tricky. Oh yeah. Now this is going to be a really interesting game. One of the problems I think about the FA Cup games is if a team that we want to look out for and do an eye test on is playing a lower division team, then there's every chance that they play a weakened team to get through that. This game here, Arsenal-Liverpool, there's no way that either of these teams are going to play a weakened team. We will absolutely have a really good look at who Liverpool's first choice front three is without Salah. This is a really good point. So this game, which is a week on Saturday, we really need to. A week on Sunday, sorry. We really need to. We really need to check this out. So it's actually on Sunday, isn't it? Yeah, it's 5 days away. Yeah, the Arsenal Liverpool game. I think we're going to really see who's in that side, and that's going to have a big impact. This is why you shouldn't make early transfers. Logan Roy notwithstanding, who normally knows what he's doing. I think we will see. Yeah, Trent will possibly be on pens in this. I think I saw some people disputing who was going to be on pens, and it was a toss-up between Darwin and maybe Szoboszlai. But for me, I think it'll be Trent. I really do. So I think there's a good chance that in this game, Arsenal-Liverpool, I think we will see. We'll see what the front three will look like. Maybe Arsenal would have signed Ivan Toney by then. Bear plays. Someone having a really... I don't know if this is... I think this might be real, you know. I've decided I'm going to delete this Twitter account and my FPL account. I think we've all been there. End of the first half of the Liverpool game yesterday could nearly have been me. But yeah, I get it, right? FPL can be pretty addictive. Just checking your green arrows, checking your red arrows, just checking your points all the time. It's definitely a bad habit of mine. I do recommend, as much as possible, once you've selected your team, just breathe, switch off the phone, and maybe check of an evening. I get into a really bad habit of just checking my live rank and scores. You can do that on free tools like FPL GameWeek is a really good one to do that on. And FPL Yeah, FPL Live Game Week will also show you like what your safety score is, but it gets really addictive, and you just like the slightest thing that goes against you can become really, it can really get you down. So bear that in mind. FPL is just a game. A monstrous goalkeeping performance. Yeah, Martin Dubravka was benched by 156,000 managers in Game Week 20. Were you one of them? Yes, I was. I ended up with 26 points left on my bench between Cole Palmer's 18 and Dubravka's 8. It was pretty painful. Darwin couldn't hit the broadside of a barn with a baseball bat, says Logan Roy. Yeah, Darwin on penalties would be interesting because you'd like to think that he's got, he is a striker in a Premier League team. Surely he'd have a better composure on the penalty spot. I think it would be fun to see how Darwin manages to miss all his pens, says Bear. Yeah, I think that's true. Yeah. Surely he'd score. Surely he'd score a penalty. He is a Premier League striker. But he is Darwin Nunez, and he is a law unto himself. It's a shame. I actually had him for a few weeks. And he did okay for me. But man alive, he is a bad finisher. I don't know. There is a good player in there somewhere. And if he ever hooks it all up, he will just haul massively. But he just seems to just lack a bit of composure at the moment. Fantasy Football Scotland. I didn't actually know that was a thing. Congratulations. Well done. Yes, we are. Logan Roy 0-0. If this game finishes 0-0, I will get a Woo bar tattoo. That's WHU. BHA. I think that's we need to call out Logan Roy on that. If he doesn't get a Woo bar tattoo, we absolutely need to call him out on it. Zachariah is asking, would you swap Watkins for Isak? What do we reckon? What do we reckon here? Whose fixtures are these? Interesting. I'm not sure. Watkins, I just love. Yeah, I guess, is Isak on pens? I don't know. I'm staying away from all Newcastle players at the moment. I'm staying away from all Newcastle players because, they just look, to me, they just look like it's not a team to target at the moment. And their fixtures, I don't think their fixtures look great. But if this is their fixtures, then maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But no, I don't like Isak. I love him as a player, but I just think as an FPL asset, he's just a bit too unreliable in terms of getting picked and actually playing. Although he scored a lovely goal last night, it's a really good. He's a really good finisher. But I think we just need to. I think stick with Watkins is what I would say. Zachariah. In fact, let's jump in and say that. I think stick with Watkins. Isak is a rotation risk, and Villa are going to be top soon, says Clickmates. Yeah, I think stick with Watkins, Isak rotation risk, and Villa on the move. Give that a like as well. FPL Twitter's seen that Areola starts tonight. Yeah, well, there goes that dream. Yeah, I like this earlier because if Areola had developed a bout of diarrhea overnight, in comes Dubravka to most people's teams. But there you go. Bowen, if you look at Bowen's stats, right, I'm annoyed that I did have him. I got rid of him for some reason. I can't remember why. I'm sure there was a reason for it. I think I got in Son. I think it worked out okay. But actually, Bowen's data, he is incredibly clinical. He is the absolute polar opposite of Darwin Nunez. I think I looked at the data, and Darwin Nunez has got something like the second biggest chances created for him. He's been on the receiving end of so many chances to score, and his conversion rate is appalling. Bowen has like a fraction of the chances that Nunez has, but he just puts nearly all of them away. So he's just an absolute machine when it comes to conversion. West Ham tend to not create tons of chances per match, but yeah, I think I think Bowen will be in so many people's side. I think he's a really great player, and I hope that once I get him in, not tonight, but once I get him in, I hope that he's going to be doing the business for me. Pep, when Salah leaves for AFCON and Haaland and KDB come back at the same time, and that's where we're cooked. I think this is true. I'm really excited about this. Here's a weird thing. Here's a weird thing. I'm a Man United fan. I was so happy when Liverpool was scoring goals last night. Well, when Salah was scoring goals last night, I may as well have been supporting Liverpool. It was weird, and I'm actually really excited for KDB and Haaland. FPL is such a twisted game, and it makes you just do all these crazy things. But yeah, that's where we're at. That's where we're at. Bought Estepinian in this week for Simicas, so not to burn a transfer. I benched him because I had guaranteed CS and returns from Saliba, Konsa, and Porro. Don't agree with that, actually, what Papa Lee is saying. FPL Papa Lee. I'm not sure I agree with that, Papa Lee. I didn't like Porro's fixture versus. I didn't like Porro's fixtures versus Bournemouth. I thought Spurs Bournemouth was going to be something like 3-1 or 3-2, and I think it ended up 3-1. So I definitely didn't fancy that. If I had Estepinian, I definitely would have played him this week. So yeah, I get what he's saying about Sod's Law, but I actually think that he actually should have played. He should have played Estepinian. I'm not going to tell him that because that's just mean. But I think he made a mistake there. Yep, differential. What's the chat saying? Watkins and Solanke. Lewis is back. Watkins and Solanke could go for me. Watkins first, and I'm not going in the Bowen boat. Whoa. Well, you heard it here first. I will be in that boat, but then again, maybe it's different for me. I'm what, 2 million places back. So, Lewis, maybe it's different for me. I've got to stick with a few template picks. But yeah, I think if Bowen blanks this game week, I won't get him in. Okay. Strong stuff. I love that. Lewis, who will you do instead of Bowen? I assume you have Salah and Son. Tell us what your plans are. Salah and Son out, I assume. And then not Bowen, but maybe KDB is going to be one of them. Again, depending on totally dependent on the FA Cup games. Don't transfer in early. Logan Roy knows what he's doing, I'm sure, but I will be transferring in as late as possible. Kufau, yeah, Kufau was not in the squad tonight. Paqueta is injured. Yeah, I think West Ham without Paqueta, he's a terrific player. Paqueta, West Ham without Paqueta, and also now without Kudus and Aguerd. Maybe that's why Lewis is saying no to Bowen, because Bowen suddenly is not on the receiving end of those tackles. Sorry, of those passes. KDB back for one more game and then get injured again. No, he's more durable than that. Way more durable. This is interesting, actually. This is true here. We've got Gross. Now, I know that our friend Logan Roy is one of the biggest Gross fans out there. I'm pretty sure he had Gross going on in his Twitter handle at some point. He's a big Gross fan. I've never had him in any size, but I know that he can be an explosive asset. This season, 3 goals, 6 assists. This season, 79 points, both of JWP, James Ward-Prowse, and Pascal Gross. I like them both. I mean, look, it's interesting that at the moment there's a bit of a vacuum when it comes to premium midfielders. Salah and Son have gone for now. KDB is injured for now. Saka is misfiring. Rashford and Bruno, and I am a United fan, but I just cannot get on board with those. Yeah, Bruno Fernandes, Marcus Rashford, just can't do it. So there is a real emptiness when it comes to those premium midfielders. So the next level down is going to be players like Ward-Prowse, Gross. It's going to be a lot of movement. I really feel like there's going to be a lot of movement over the next couple of weeks. I still think there's a load of zombie teams out there. I don't know what you guys reckon. There's a load of zombie teams still in the top million, just because the first part of the season was really, like, the luck was outrageous. So many content creators were just getting slammed. And now I'm starting to see people climbing back. A good friend of mine, a guy called Lubo, he finished, I think he finished last season in the top 10,000. And he was like, 2 million like me, but he's actually made some really great decisions. He's now climbed, I think, into like the top 150,000. And he's just slowly climbing his way back. So really, there is still hope out there. How's it looking, chat? How are the games looking? Onions, we're still talking about onions. I've missed that. Lewis is saying, I really like Cunha over Watkins. Cunha over Watkins. I love Cunha. Don't know about Cunha over Watkins, but I love Cunha. Solanke. Yeah, okay. I think I'm going 3-4-3 up front with Watkins, Cunha, Haaland in the mid. I have 3 locked in with Luis Diaz, Diaby, and Palmer. Good luck to you, Lewis. That's a great sounding setup. I dare say you'll be right, because looking at our ranks, you're getting a lot more right than me. What's happening here? Has Brighton scored? That's what we need to know, because that would be a disaster, wouldn't it? Let's have a quick look. Still 0-0. 52 minutes gone. My goodness, this is going to be close. It's going to be really close. I'm excited. What are we saying in the chat? More onion chats? No. Steve, Lewis is listening to Wildcard FPL whilst at work. Oh my goodness. Lewis, do we need to start broadcasting later in the day just for you? Because I feel like we owe you one. Maybe the next live stream we kick that off at 9 p.m. UK time, so you can take your lunch at least. I'm at work and still putting in more work in on FPL on Wildcard. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like a second job, isn't it? When you're really into it like this, it becomes a bit of a second job. FPL Piggy, Charlie. Am I following them? Yeah. I can afford... Oh, Logan Roy, I'm getting a Woo Bar tattoo, apparently. Does that mean there's been a goal? Update us, Logan Roy. Just to be clear, I can afford both. So he wants to do... Oh, they're talking about... Yeah, there's a lot of talk about the selling price and the purchase price and Haaland, how he didn't go down that much. And do you know what I mean? I can't really get my head around it. I know there's stuff to do with, it depends on how much it needs to go up by 0.2 for you to get 0.1 back. But I think it's all to do with what percentage of players own that person. So I think I'm staying out of it. It's too confusing. I'm pretty sure that FPL towers are not fudging things, but yeah, I'm staying out of it. I think I can afford some price swings either way. This is absolutely true, isn't it? When you finally sell Son and Salah, that's absolutely true. We are just going to, our in the bank stats are going to be absolutely crazy. We're going to have I think I saw someone earlier, like they picked the team that they absolutely wanted and they had 10 million in the bank. It is nuts at the moment. It is absolutely nuts. But like I said, until the likes of Bruno and Rashford start delivering on a more regular basis, no one's going to need those really expensive premium midfielders. It is going to be the likes of James Ward-Prowse and Jarrod Bowen, Cole Palmer. I think, enjoy Cole Palmer this season, because next season, what price do you reckon Cole Palmer will be next season? What did he start off this season? 5.5 million? I felt like he started off at 5 million. He's going to be 8 million next season, no problem. Surely. Lewis is looking for some merch, hats, shirts, and backpacks. I reckon we've got a Logan Roy. You're gonna have to grab some stickers, send them out. You're in the States soon. Send out some stickers. Maybe we need some caps. We need some caps, I think. We need some t-shirts, right? I'm sat here in this t-shirt here. I should be sat here in a Wildcard FPL t-shirt. We're gonna make that happen. Crikey. Kevin De Bruyne this is from 1 hour ago. Kevin De Bruyne is already the 5th most transferred in player this week. Kevin De Bruyne, the bloke who hasn't kicked a ball since game week 1. Complete and utter madness. 1, 2, 3, 4. That is mad. 171,000 people have brought in De Bruyne. That's probably more crazy than people bringing in Salah. Yeah, I think, like I said, wait until the FA Cup game. Man City have an easy game. I think they're playing Huddersfield. Man City have a really easy game. I think wait until that game. I think he may play in that game just because it's going to be against Huddersfield, so they'll probably play a slightly weaker team. Although Pep does like to win competition, so he doesn't really risk that many. I wonder against Huddersfield, because of a need of fitness, I wonder if we'll see both De Bruyne and Haaland. That would be something. But yeah, Haaland's looking like he's back in. Cameron, with Haaland expected back next game week, these are the moves I'm looking to make. Money isn't an issue, so I'm in no rush to make these moves, and we'll leave it as late as possible. So Salah out, Bowen in, standard. Son for Foden, slightly non-standard, that one. And then Alvarez for Haaland, that's standard. This is the sorts of moves that's going to be happening. I think like Logan Roy's already done Son to Foden. He's got that done already. And oh crikey, yeah, he's already done Salah to Bowen as well. So Logan, in the chat, can you tell us, you've done 2 out of these 3 transfers. Is the 3rd transfer inevitable? Have a sip of water. We'll wait and see what he says. They're talking about eggs and omelets. We love eggs over here at Wildcard FPL. All of our bets are not with money. We bet with eggs. So when we say we make a bet on points being scored or goals being scored or team's performance, it's always to do with eggs. Logan Roy is here. Logan Roy, I'm saying Salah to this person's already, you've already done, I know, Salah to Bowen, Son to Foden. Cool. Are you also then planning, who are you planning to get in for Haaland? Because you don't have Alvarez. Archer to Haaland. Okay. So, yeah, so is Logan are you taking a -8? What do you need to hear from Haaland? I think he's still got one more week. But then we get our FA Cup. I guess, yeah, we get our FA Cup match, and we see if Haaland makes the bench for that. Game week 21 doesn't start until the 13th of January, so we've got 11 more days for his foot or his ankle, whatever it was, to get better. But yeah, is he going to take that Archer to Haaland move? Is a nice move. So yeah, he would do. He's saying he would do a -8 to get in the man-child robot baby. I have 2 free transfers, so I can do that with just a -4. But I think I would do it too. If I knew he was back, I would do that too, because to me he's He's a must-have, and so many of those sleeper teams have Haaland in it as well. So you got to get it done. 16k, well done to you. Amazing. Such a great result. Yeah, I think when it comes to let's see what's happening with. Let's do this FPL Salah replacement. Let's see. So FPL PZ recommends Palmer as the gold standard. I have Palmer already. Bowen v Sheffield United away. Oof. That's a lovely fixture for Bowen. Foden v Newcastle. Yeah, Newcastle at home are slightly better than they are away, but yeah, I fancy Man City to hand out a good hiding to Newcastle there, even though they're away. I'll have Bernardo in against Newcastle. Bernardo's stats, statistically, he is their best player away from home. Richarlison versus or Jota, Saka or Ødegaard versus Crystal Palace. Don't know about that. Don't mind it. Palace obviously Palace are all right defensively, and Arsenal are not free scoring. I'd probably put that below Jota versus Bournemouth. And then Richarlison versus Man United away. Yeah, I think Richarlison v United, that defence at United is so leaky. Spurs have got a real good opportunity to thrash Man United. So John Root from Wildcard FPL is a Spurs fan. Him and I will do a radio silence day on that day. I'm sure of it. But I'm pretty certain that Spurs will thrash United. And Richarlison could well be on the receiving end of that. I wonder when James Maddison's back. That's what I'm also wondering. Could be January. I wonder if we'll see him in the next couple of weeks. Because actually, that he is one of those midfielders who I'd love to have back in. I had him in, and I really had he scored a load of points for me. Really liked it. But hopefully he's back. If you're just joining the channel, remember to give it a like, give it a subscribe. All those likes and subscribes really count for a lot here at Wildcard FPL Towers. We absolutely love it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And welcome to those of you just joining the stream as well. We're just going through Twitter. One of the things we're looking at is Salah and Son replacements. It's going to be the big talking point over the next couple of weeks, especially as I still think that so many teams have not spotted out of like probably the 9.6 million teams playing FPL, a load of them haven't spotted that Salah and Son are going to be gone. To the point where I've seen 20-odd thousand people have transferred in Son or Salah. So absolutely just not recognizing that these guys are going to be away for the next few weeks. I like this. Michael Elise, I think his name is Michael Elise. Yeah, he looks really good. I don't mind that at all. Why not Diaz? I'm not sure about Diaz. He looked a bit sketchy last night. Normally he's a great option though, yeah. So maybe just had an off game against Newcastle. Once him and Darwin Nunez went off and Gakpo and Jota came on, Liverpool were a different class. Even as a United fan, I can say that. You're absolutely brilliant. No. What are we saying, PZ? Great options are Bowen, Foden, Palmer, Richarlison, Trent. Good options are Ødegaard, Estepinian, Garnacho. I like Garnacho in there as well. He's only 4.7, 4.8 now maybe. Elise. Differential options, no. Rashford, no. Gross, yes, definitely. Bailey, maybe. His minutes might be a bit of a risk. Kulusevski, yeah, not bad. I think Spurs are going to score some goals, especially v United as well. What are we asking in the chat? So we've got, is Curtis Jones going to be nailed while Salah is away? 9 points last week, 4.9 million mid. It's hard to say. We will find out in the Arsenal versus Liverpool FA Cup game. That is the game to pay attention to. It'll be a great game anyway, I'm sure of it. But we will find out a lot more about that team. I'm sure of it. John Root has two. He's got two Newcastle defenders. Two Newcastle defenders: Salah, Son, and Zinchenko. Oh, John. John Root is our good friend and contributor to Wildcard FPL. So he has two Newcastle defenders. Who's he? So I think he has Trippier and Livramento. He's got Salah, Son, and Zinchenko. John Root. Who's his bench? No, Areola's on 3 bonus. You are winding me. Actually, no. Logan Roy has Areola. He wouldn't wind me up on that. Lewis is saying, come out to San Francisco and visit. When we go on our first wildcard FPL road trip, that's where we'll go. Back 4 for the moment. Yeah, so Lewis has got Walker. Yeah, I remember you saying that a few weeks ago, Lewis. You're going to get in Walker. That was a good move. Clean sheet. Walker, Pedro Porro, Virgil van Dijk, and Gabriel, and Ederson in goal. Oof. It's a heck of a back 4 and a goalkeeper as well. Virgil, I think we said it before. I think Liverpool are a bit leaky, but there's every chance he can score a goal. If a centre back's going to score a goal, it'll be Virgil van Dijk. Lascelles is John's other Newcastle player. Gotcha. Yeah. If you just joined us, remember to like and subscribe. We were going through Twitter. We're just having a quick look at the chat. And having what's interesting to us is that we can see Areola is on some bonus points and a clean sheet. Estepinian is on a clean sheet and on BPs as well. Crikey. It could be one of my best weeks for a number of weeks. My overall rank is just under 2.5 million. As I said at the start of the stream, I know that's not that impressive. It was a horrendous start to the FPL game this year. I'm normally my rank last year, I finished in the top 300,000 last year. My rank is normally really good, but I am now what I represent. I represent a lot of people now who are in and around that 2 million mark. So we have Logan Roy, who's also a contributor to Wildcard FPL. He's at 270k, and me, I'm at about, like I said, 2.4 million or something like that. So we're covering all angles. We've got Logan Roy covering the elite, the pathway to the top 100,000. I'm really focusing on just trying to get to. If I can get to under 1 million, I will be absolutely ecstatic this season, given where I've come from and the bad luck that we've had. I'm hoping that turn of the year, it's a new year. I'm hoping that the luck is going to change. And up until the first half of the Liverpool game last night with Salah as captain, it was not looking great. But the second half, end of the first half, all of the toys came out of the pram. I was throwing everything out of the pram. I was really upset about that. But then it suddenly became good. What are we saying? So we're saying Purvis and Areola could net me 15 points here, says Logan Roy. That would be an amazing outcome for you. That could see you right back into that top 250, 240. Lewis is asking, who would you sell for Estepinian? I got Gabriel, Virgil, Porro, or Walker at the moment. I'll sell Gabriel or Porro. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Logan Roy's recommending Gabriel. I think I'd be tempted to do that as well. Maybe Virgil, just because look, my opinion of Liverpool is that they're a great attacking unit. Their defense is not as good as their attack by quite a bit. So yeah, I think that I'd be tempted to swap out Virgil for Estepinian. It gets you more of an attacking defender, but I'm also very conscious of the fact that you are 5,700 in the world and I am 2.5 million. Very conscious of that. But yeah, Virgil to Estepinian would look like a real, and I think I'm pretty sure that Estepinian at this moment in time, Estepinian would be, he'd be less money. He'd be less money than Virgil. So you may have a good option there. Can we see that actually? If I go here, I might be able to see it, guys. If I were to go to, oh no, I won't be able to see that. Yeah, if I sell, oh, Lewis is saying if I sell Virgil, I'm getting Trent. Oh, so you don't have Trent. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Do that. Yeah. I think Gabriel then, it looks like the one. Gabriel to Estepinian looks like the one. Is the score still 0-0? Is that what we're saying? Let's do the thing. And do woo. Crikey. Typing inside of this screen is a bit tricky, isn't it? Woo bar. Let's have a little look. Well, we've still got ages to go. Still got absolutely ages to go. And Evan Ferguson has just come on. Why have I got a bad feeling about that all of a sudden? Ah, John Root's here. He's talking about Woo Bar as well. Nice to see you, John Root. Remember to like and subscribe, John Root, if you haven't already. Let's bring this back up. I think I've got a bad feeling all of a sudden. Evan Ferguson coming on. Let's hope I'm wrong. Yeah, it's looking... Jarrod Bowen amassed 200 points in 2023. 15 goals, 8 assists, 14 bonus points. Over the past 12 months, his total of 24 attacking returns is 7th highest among all players in FPL. He's 8 million. Recommend him. Recommend him. Well, I think so. John's just going to making a souffle. That's good stuff. Well, that's my hour done. I think that was really excellent. Thanks for watching, everyone. That was really fun. It was my first live stream on my own. Normally, Logan, Roy, and I take it in turns. He streams, I chat. I stream, he chats. He'll be live on Thursday. And I think we will be talking about, we're going to be talking about a bit more transfer plans. So like we're going to be looking into Gibbs White. We're going to be looking into Townsend. We're going to be looking at all those players on Thursday when Logan Roy is here. I will be in the chat. We're going to be talking about players to bring in for game week 21. We're going to be talking about the Salah Son conundrum. By then we probably would have been looking at a few price drops as well. But look, lovely to chat to you all tonight. And it's been an interesting one. What a game week 20 it was. So many goals, an absolute roller coaster for me personally. Starting off with benching Palmer and ending up with captaining Salah. And if it can be a final climax of Areola getting a clean sheet and maybe some bonus points, my goodness, that would have from benching Palmer to that moment then would mean a lot to me. So I'm hoping that they can keep out Evan Ferguson for a bit longer. But look, we'll be back on Thursday. Logan Roy will be streaming. I will be in the chat. Lewis will be here, I'm sure, telling us what's going on and what plans he's making. Other than that, thanks very much, guys, and take care. Have a good one.